Have you ever found yourself in a place so quiet that you could hear your own heartbeat? Maybe it was deep in the woods, far from any road, where the only sound was the wind whispering through ancient trees. Or perhaps it was in the echoing silence of an empty house, where dust motes dance in the faint light, and every creak of the floorboards sounds like a footstep. These are the places where the veil between worlds feels thin. They are the spaces where the everyday noise of our lives fades away, leaving us alone with our thoughts. And sometimes we find we are not as alone as we believed. The stillness is not empty, it is waiting. Tonight we are going to venture into that stillness together. I invite you to find a comfortable spot, dim the lights, and let the outside world fall away. We are not here for cheap jump scares or elaborate fictions. The stories you are about to hear are grounded in reality, shared by people just like you, who found themselves in situations they could not explain. These are tales that began on ordinary days, in ordinary places, before taking a turn into the unsettling and the unknown. They are accounts of encounters in the deep, dark places of the world, forgotten caves, tangled forests. We will explore the crushing darkness of subterranean caverns, where the air is cold and stale, and the silence is so profound it feels like a physical weight. We will walk through desolate woods, where the snap of a twig can send a jolt of primal fear through your entire body. We will step into the abandoned hallways of homes that hold on to their secrets, their tragedies echoing in the empty rooms. The voice you will hear is calm, a steady guide through these unsettling landscapes. Its purpose is not to startle you, but to draw you in, to make you feel as if you are there. So, get settled, take a deep breath, and prepare to listen, because in the quiet, things that are normally hidden can begin to stir. In the deep shadows, shapes can begin to form. We often seek out these stories for a thrill, a quick jolt of adrenaline before we turn the lights back on and return to our safe, predictable lives. But the experiences you will hear tonight are different. They are the kind that don't just scare you in the moment. They are the kind that follow you, that whisper in the back of your mind long after the tale is told. They remind you that there are corners of this world that science has not yet mapped, and phenomena that logic cannot easily dismiss. What makes a ghost story truly terrifying? Is it the sudden appearance of a ghostly figure or the violent slam of a door? Often, the deepest fear comes from something much quieter. It is the slow, creeping realization that the rules of the world have just been broken. It's the feeling of being watched when no one is there, or hearing a voice that has no physical source. It is the chilling touch of an unseen hand in the dead of night. The stories we are about to share are filled with these moments. They are accounts of pure, unadulterated terror. These are not just legends passed down through generations, or myths created to explain strange noises. These are personal testimonies from individuals who stumbled into the paranormal. You will hear about a home where an innocent-looking Ouija board opened a door that could not be closed, unleashing years of escalating horror. You will journey into the wild, where hikers have encountered figures that should not exist, entities that appear and disappear on lonely trails, leaving behind nothing but a lingering sense of dread and 1,000 unanswered questions. Each story is a thread in a larger, darker tapestry. We will delve into events witnessed by multiple people, experiences so powerful and clear that they left no room for doubt. Imagine seeing a disembodied head floating in a window, with your best friend standing right beside you, seeing the exact same impossible sight. Imagine hearing a voice over a radio, a voice from somewhere or somewhen it shouldn't be, a message that predicts a future you desperately want to avoid. These shared encounters remove the comforting explanation of a mind playing tricks. They confirm that something truly inexplicable occurred, leaving the witnesses forever changed. So, as we begin, I want you to consider a simple question. Have you ever felt it? That prickling on the back of your neck? That sudden, inexplicable chill in a warm room? That sense that you are not alone? Most of us dismiss it, pushing the feeling aside as a draft or an overactive imagination. But what if it wasn't? What if, just for a moment, you were brushing up against something that lies just beyond our senses? The stories you are about to hear are from people who could no longer dismiss that feeling. They were forced to confront it. Now, it's your turn to listen. Are you ready? Our story begins not with a creaking door or a shadowy figure, but with a choice. A family stood on the cusp of a new beginning, looking for the perfect house to call home. For the narrator, a teenager fascinated by all things mysterious, this was an exciting time. He spent his days lost in books and websites about ghosts, conspiracies, and the occult. He was a skeptic at heart, raised with Christian values, but never truly a believer. These strange topics were a curiosity, a form of entertainment, but he had no real reason to think any of it was real. That was about to change. His parents found a house they loved, and the deal was nearly closed. All that was left was a final walkthrough with his grandmother for her approval, while the narrator explored the empty rooms, dreaming of where his bedroom would be. His mother and grandmother toured the property. The house was charming, but a sense of unease settled over his grandmother, especially on the second floor. She mentioned her concerns about the layout, a practical worry about fire safety that seemed ordinary enough at the time. My mother, though, felt something different. On the drive home, she confessed to a strange sight. She could have sworn she saw a little girl staring down at them from one of the second floor windows. It was a fleeting, unsettling image, the kind you quickly dismiss as a trick of the light. This strange vision, combined with the grandmother's unease, was enough to spark my parents' curiosity. They decided to dig into the history of the house, perhaps expecting to find nothing more than a list of previous owners. What they discovered sent a chill down their spines. Years ago, a fire had indeed broken out on the second floor of that very house, and in that fire, a young girl had lost her life. The coincidence was staggering, a piece of local history that seemed to echo my mother's strange vision from the window. It was the kind of story that makes you question the boundary between coincidence and something more. Despite the eerie discovery, the fire and the ghostly sighting were not what ultimately kept them from buying the house. In the end, a much more mundane problem sealed its fate. A severe roach infestation discovered during the final inspection. My mother wanted no part of it, and so they moved on, leaving the house with its tragic history and its little girl in the window behind them. They soon found another home in a nearby town, one that met everyone's approval. They thought they had left the strangeness behind, but they were wrong, that the supernatural had a way of finding them. With the decision made, the family quickly moved into their new house. They were settling in, unpacking boxes, arranging furniture, when a knock came at the door. It was the woman who had sold them the home. She hadn't come to drop off forgotten mail. She hadn't come to offer a neighborly welcome. She had a message to pass on, a strange inheritance. She explained her mother had passed away inside the house years ago. Sometimes, she said, her mother would still appear. The woman reassured them the spirit was friendly, attached to her old home. My parents listened, thanked her, and filed the strange information away. A few weeks later, my life as a teenager began to take shape in this new town. I made a new best friend who lived just down the street. Our house number, 112. His house number, 12. A neat little coincidence I found cool at the time. Our families became close, and soon we were having regular get-togethers. During one of the first gatherings at our house, my parents shared the story of their house hunting adventure. The creepy tale of the first house they almost bought, the one with the fire and the little girl in the window. My friend's parents listened in shock. Then they revealed something incredible. They had lived in that exact house for a decade. The reason they moved, the house was intensely haunted. A chill filled the room as they spoke. They described not one, but two distinct spirits. One, the ghost of a young girl. Two, a malevolent old man. The story became a confirmed haunting, corroborated by people we trusted. My friend's family had a busy home with several children and a daycare run from the house. His older brothers, now young men, had traumatizing stories of their own. The eldest, 21, couldn't sleep without the lights on. For me, this was a turning point. It was the first time multiple credible people independently confirmed paranormal events. The world of ghosts and spirits, once a distant hobby, suddenly felt very real and very close.